This is just an example of how timing is so important. We had a celebrity tweet, and within 2 hours, it was retweeted 1,800 times, but after 2 hours, it was dead. So this aspect of capitalizing on positive activity around your brand in social media is important too. These are some examples, and I'm not going to take you through them, but examples of negative commentary and how we've responded to that. And this is where, again, being there, seeing the negative commentary, knowing that someone's upset, and then having an engagement back and forth. And what's great about social media is the users of social media for bad news are the first ones to stand up and say, wow, you know what, they turned it around. And so that's an audience that's really important to us. So just to wrap it up, you want to listen, know when and how to engage, address what's negative, but also be prepared to amplify the positive. And when there is grant news and things to share, you want to know that you have the channel set up to share that information. And use your existing assets whenever you can. And we have a bunch of different channels, but I'll take you to homedepot.com/connect. There's a website that you can visit to see our main social channels for the Home Depot. Thank you. Yes?
I have kind of a tactical question. How do you manage the amount of data that goes across LinkedIn, Twitter? I mean, I guess from a call center perspective, I know you can put voice keywords, and you talked about, I guess, a SWAT team or people who do that. I guess, yeah, how do you manage?
Yeah, from a volume standpoint, just FYI, we see 8,000 to 10,000 tweets a week about the Home Depot.
Yes.
So how do you pick and choose? We're responsible for 6,000, no, I'm just kidding. So yeah, that listening piece, I kind of glazed over that very, very quickly, but I feel like most folks, to get some kind, even free tools that are out there to do monitoring, and there's a number of them, and I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but the aspect of having people as a part of their job. These might be folks that maybe in your organization you have someone who's required to sit by a phone because they're the one that needs to answer that phone when it rings. That's a perfect role in the organization to train on some of this stuff and to talk about, hey, a couple hours a day when you have some downtime, can you hop online and check and see what's being said? So using those existing resources to keep on top of the conversation. But from a data standpoint, I always go to what are we learning from that data? How are we packaging that? And how are we sharing that as feedback to the business? And I think that's more your question. So we do have some tools to do that.
Can I just chime in? Just really tactical. TweetDeck is one that will give you all of those columns. You can put all your accounts on one screen, and it'll monitor Twitter, LinkedIn, and you can say, give me every time your handle is mentioned, and it'll line it up. Because Sarah's got how many Facebook fans and Twitter followers do you have?
Not me.
Well, Home Depot.
Let's see. So yeah, we have 144,000 fans on Facebook, and we have about 28,000 on our main Twitter handle. But we have another almost 20,000 on a deal-driven handle. And that's social media in a bad way. We're just pushing out
right?
deals.
So how do you take the data to be credible?
Yeah.
To be tactical, to quickly turn around, oh, here's this, there's a run on this, let me find out, and then maybe contact the store manager to say.
Yeah. So we do do that. I would say from a customer service standpoint, we have it tied into our existing call center technology. So that was something we did early on to say, okay, whether it's coming from a phone call, an email, a letter, or a tweet, there's an input for that now, which is pretty cool. So a store manager will see that report out and see that this came through Twitter, or this came through Facebook. And what they do with that or how they realize what that means is a whole other story, but the aspect of, as a data collection point, we are looking at that. But everything else from what data matters? What are we trying to accomplish? And if I'm not a big fan of chasing fan counts, but the aspect of connecting with people and how do you measure that, hey, we actually connected with this person? That's a whole other, I mean, that's really the million-dollar question in social media. And there's a number of different ways we look at that. Things like reach and resonance, and not just who saw it, but what did they do once they saw it, that type of stuff. But good. I know I want to get to the other panelists, so I think if we jump to, because I know Sarah, you're going to be up next.
Yes.
And then we can take more Q&A for the whole group, if that's
Yes.
good. Okay. Fantastic. Well, thanks, everyone. And
Well, hello everybody. My name is Sarah DeVries, and like Kathleen said, I work for a company called Blink Media, and we're located on Georgia Tech's campus, and basically what we do is we're a social engagement advertising company. We focus mainly on big brands and large agencies, and focusing a lot on the paid media side, but with this we've also been very, very blessed and honored to work with some great nonprofits and organizations here in Atlanta, such as TechBridge. So my goal for today is to kind of lead you guys through some of the stuff that we've done with these nonprofits, and if you work for a nonprofit or if you work for an organization and want to get into nonprofits, I really hope that there's something you can take away here. And this will actually be really great because I'm going to focus more on the Facebook aspect, which is good because Sarah focused more on Twitter, so then you guys can get a little bit of everything here. So first of all, when it comes to getting started in social media, if you're a nonprofit, we understand that nonprofits are running at 1,000,000 miles a minute. They're super busy. They have a ton of different stuff going on. And so in order to get started, we just want to keep it incredibly simple and concise. And so first of all is just kind of define exactly what kind of goals you want, whether maybe you have no presence at all in Facebook or Twitter and you just need to start something. Or maybe you have a presence, but you guys just don't have very many fans, or there's no engagement. And maybe just focus on one or two main key aspects. You don't have to do everything. In fact, if you have too many goals, it's going to make you really stressed out. So just make sure that you pick one or two main things that you guys really want to focus on. Also, where do you want to be? Sarah kind of touched base on this too, but you don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to do everything. That's going to make things really crazy for you guys. So, especially if there's a certain audience that you guys are looking for, whether it's executives, you might want to go for maybe for LinkedIn. If it's an overall reach, you guys might want to go on Facebook, 500 million users. So maybe kind of internally discuss that, figure out where your guys' audience is and how you want to tap into that. And then the last thing is, just keep it simple, because we don't want you guys to look like that girl in that picture, which can happen really easily. So it should be a fun thing too. So I'm going to take you through some of the case studies that we've done first with some of the nonprofits here. So the first one was with TechBridge. We started working with TechBridge in late 2009. And our main goal for them was to really just raise their awareness and increase the presence on the sites that they had in social media. They already had a Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook account, so our main goal is how can we manage these and how can we best utilize what they have already. So some of the stuff that we did for them is we oversaw all of their social media initiatives. We managed all of them too as far as the messaging goes. We wanted to support all of their events that they have within social media. And also we put on a training session for their staff and their volunteers and their advisors. So that way they can always stay updated on what's going on in TechBridge. And also so we can teach them how to become engaged themselves too, because it's always helpful when not just the organization, not just the brand is interacting, but when the employees are too. And make it seem like a really fun place to be and that people really enjoy what they're doing. So this first thing is what we did for them on Facebook. So some of the key things that we focused on is we wanted to focus on messaging. So with TechBridge, we post about 2 to 3 messages a week. What we found in our expertise is that 2 to 3 messages a week is usually